In the previous class, we have seen the concept of how to parse the directories. In that, if we give a directory as an input, it is going to produce the various kind of list of files which are available in all the present directories and subdirectories and subdirectories. So for that, we have used various kind of methods. So in order to satisfy the given requirement, okay, and then we have seen like how to create a directory, and then how to copy the file from one file to another file, and then how to list out all the files of the given directory. Like that, we have seen various kind of things. And also we have seen the concept of how to upload a file. This uploading of file can be done in two locations. One is for the corresponding server or for the corresponding database, meaning that if you would like to store in a particular location, that is what we call the system directory, or you can able to store in a kind of database. This is what we have seen in the previous class. Now in today's class, we'll see further how to download a file. So this downloading of file, we can done downloading a file to local system. Basically, what will happen whenever you are trying to use an image? For example, let me try to work with an example so that you will get clear idea. So I am trying to create a file. Control yes. I am trying to give the file name as csc2.php. I think there is no name with the csc.php. I am trying to save it, and then guys, for example, I am trying to create a download option for the user to download an image. Ahref equal to, I think there is an images folder. You can observe on the left side panel, images folder. There is an image called b.jpeg. b.jpeg. I am trying to provide an option called download image option. Download image option. Guys, is it really downloaded? Is it really going to be downloaded? No. If you go for here, I think csc2.php. If I press enter, it has provided option, but it won't be downloaded. Instead, it is going to be viewed in the browser itself. I don't want like that. I want to force my browser to download into the system directory. That is my concept now. Okay. Not only this one. For example, if I go for any kind of PDF document, ahref equal to, so in the images folder itself, you can observe one more file called wt.pdf. Download wt file. Download wt file. Okay, if I go for one more file called ahref equal to, there is a file called extend with .csv. Images slash make digitize .csv. Download csv file. I am going to close the file. Download csv file. So if I refresh here, you can observe, if I am going to click on download wt file, it will be open there itself. But I don't want to open there itself. Instead, I want to download. But if I go for download csv file, it will be downloaded. So this kind of feature I required for me. So meaning that, so whenever you are trying to work with images, or any kind of documents, these cannot be downloaded directly. These can't be downloaded directly. So for that, we need to make forceful to the browser to download. But whereas coming to the remaining kind of files, like it can be any kind of .csv, or it can be any kind of .zip file, or it can be any kind of .exe file. All these files are automatically downloaded. We don't need to go for forcing that one. So now in this class, what we'll do is, so we would like to force all the images and all the documents to download into the local system directly. So for that, what I would like to do is, I would like to create one gallery of images. So I hope you already created the gallery page, right? So where it contains a kind of a grid system, where it is a kind of a 3x3 or 4x4 like that. So here I will take some sample 3 images. I would like to create a gallery. Under each and every image, I will provide an option called download option. Okay. So for example, how we are going to insert the image by using image tag. Image source equal to, where is the image available? Images slash b dot JPEG. JPEG. If the image is not available, I need to provide some alternative text, that is RGKT image. RGKT image. This will be directly displayed there itself. But under this one, I have to provide an option called download option. So in order to make this all features to work as a downloading option, I need to work with PHP. Work with the PHP. Okay. So before going for further, let me tell. So in PHP, we have a method called read file method. Read file method, which is meant for the purpose of reading the given data. Reading the given data. That data can be either an image, or it can be any kind of PDF, or it can be any element. Or it can be anything, which is meant for the purpose of reading the file into the browser. Reading the file into the browser. So once I read into the file into the browser, I need to make it download into the local system, meaning that the default property of images and PDF documents can't be downloaded. Instead, what I need to do, I need to change the browser properties. In order to change the browser properties, I have a predefined method called header method is there. Header method is there. See, basically, this header method is meant for various purposes. So one is meant for to respond to the client request. To respond to the client request. To respond to the client request. So how to respond? Like for example, whenever you go for an ATM, you will get something like 500 not found, or whenever you are trying to visit some web pages, 404 not found, like that. So all those kind of responses will be responsible with the help of header function only. So among those, one function is download option function. Download option function. So for that, we are going to use a property called content disposition property. Content disposition property, which I made it as attachment. Which I made it as attachment, so that what is the meaning of this one? Whatever the attachment that we are giving, that should be downloaded into the local system. That is the meaning of content disposition equal to attachment. And whatever the file that I am trying to download, for that I am going to provide some name, that is file name equal to the corresponding file name as something like jk.png. jk.png. But guys, do you think that every file is extended with .png? No, it may be extended with .jpeg, or it may be extended with .pdf, like that. So instead of providing this file name statically, I can provide the user clicked image name. Whatever the image user is clicked, that image name you can provide. That image name we can able to get with the help of a method called base name. So that base name will provide actual name of the element. Actual name of the element. Actual name of the element. So once we know these methods clearly for you, you can able to provide an option to download the image forcefully into our local system. Okay, let us see how we can create all those options. Okay, so guys, for example, now I am trying to work with any kind of PHP code. So I would like to write anything inside PHP tags. Inside PHP tags. Yeah. So first, what I would like to do is I would like to create a gallery page. Let's assume that I am having 3 images. All those 3 image names I am going to save in an array format. Array format, that is b.jpeg, c.jpeg, and d.jpeg. jpeg. And I am going to store it in a variable called $images. So $images contains what? 3 images in the form of an array, that is B, C, and D image. So I think d.jpeg is, I think d dot it is jpg. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to take each and every image as input. I need to replace in this particular variable. In this particular variable. How can I do that? Previously what I did is I have taken an image statically. Now I don't want to take that statically. Instead I want to take the value from an array. So in order to iterate over an array, what you can do? You can use for each loop, right? For each of $images as $image. $image. Now I need to add image tag. I need to add image tag inside PHP. Image tag is a kind of HTML tag. Can I add directly HTML tag inside PHP code? No, it is not possible. So for that, can I write the HTML code inside echo statement? Yes, right. In the previous class, I have already shown for you inside echo statement you can able to write something in the double quotations. So the same way I can able to write. For example, echo. I am going to open the single quotations. So I can write in single quotations or I can write in double quotations. Inside single quotations, I can able to simply write this code. Simply write this code. Guys, is it okay for you? If I am going to iterate, what will happen? 3 times you got an image because we made the source value as this one. But is the source value should be taken from the array or not? Yes. That value is available in which location? $image. So instead what I can do, I can simply add $image. Now what will happen? You are going to get something, right? So why you are getting that error? So you are getting the alternative image, alternate to the image. Why are you getting an error? Image is what? Image is available in which location? Images folder, but we are working in the RGKT folder. So you have to compulsory go with the images slash $image. Now also you are not working. Why? Because there is a problem with usage of double quotations and single quotations. That too, here it is a kind of a variable. If the variable is a kind of a string, will it get the value or it is going to print directly? It is going to print directly. So we need to make it a kind of a variable. What we can do? I will modify in such a way to work with this like this. Is it okay, Ma? I just simple modification. I made it a kind of a variable. I hope you know that. Okay. So because these are variables, I should not make in the form of double quotations in order for the further evaluation. So I make like this. Now I need to make all this in a perfect alignment. So let me take width as 450 pixel, height also some 300 pixel. This is the way you can able to align. Okay, fine guys. So not only this one, you can able to write in a different ways. So for example, you are trying to write some image tag, image source equal to something like this. So this value you need to get dynamically. So whatever the value that you are passing here, that should be a kind of a PHP variable. So for that what I can do, I can start the PHP code, I can write $image and then I will close the PHP code and I can write normal PHP code, download like that. I can go for normal. So inside PHP, I can write HTML code with the help of echo statement, or inside HTML tag, I can write PHP code with the help of PHP codes. So you can write in both ways, no problem. So this is what we call it as inside HTML code. Writing PHP code inside HTML code. But this example is related to what, ma? Writing HTML code inside PHP. Okay, fine. This is the way you can able to. But the thing is, I would like to make some proper alignment for this. I need to make, so under the every image, I need to provide an option called download option. So then what I can do, I can go for writing one more echo tag. Echo tag. So I will take one paragraph. I will take anchor tag a href equal to. So initially I am not pointing to anything, and then I am going to provide an option called download option. I am going to close my anchor tag. I am going to close my paragraph. So I think there is some mistake. I need to go with. Yes guys, I think it will work, right? So everywhere I got, but thing is because of adding this anchor tag, it has converted into a kind of block level elements. So what I will do is, so so because of this paragraph tag, not because of anchor tag, because of this paragraph tag, it has converted into block level element. So now what I will do is, so I will try to create a division for all this data. I'll close the tag because to apply some set of properties for this group of elements, I am trying to make in a group. Okay. So now what I will do is, I will try to create a styling tag. style dot something like image hyphen division. I would like to make the display as inline block, and then I would like to give some gap between right and left of the images. So then I can go for margin. I will go for shorten property 0 pixel, and then let me take 15 pixel, and whatever the text that is there, that should be aligned to the center. Okay, I need to apply this class to the division. So division class equal to image hyphen d, right? I'm going to get all these things. So HTML comments are like this. Okay, guys, I hope you understood. So this is the kind of a gallery page. Now my requirement is, whenever user clicks on this download button, download link, I need to download the image. But is it redirecting to anywhere? No. So I need to make it download option. So for that, in order to provide the download option to forcefully download into the local system, you have to use various kind of methods, right? That I already explained. One is read file method you have to use, and you have to use a header method. For example, whenever user clicks on the corresponding link, I need to redirect it to a page called, let me try to create one page with the name download.php. Download.php. Now, so guys, for the purpose of reading the data into the browser, I am going to use read file option, read file method. So here what I am trying to read, the data which is present in the images folder, and the name of the image, so that it will be read into the browser. Now the thing is, how can we get this name variable? That is my next question for me. Guys, I hope you understood. Read file is meant for to read the data into the browser. That's okay, fine. So what file it is trying to read? It is trying to read a file with the variable called $name. This $name should be get from the clicked option here. Should be get from the clicked option. Now what we can do is, for example, let me take this $name equal to something like, if the value is something like b.jpg, it is going to read it or not? It's going to read it or not? For example, you can observe, guys. So instead of this, I will simply go for localhost slash rgukt slash download.php. It has read some data or not? It has moved to a certain location and it has read some data. But this data I need to get from which location? This should be get from the user clicked option. Once the user clicked something in some location, I need to store that clicked image name should be in the $name variable. So for that, what I will do, you can able to use the global variables, $_get, $_post, $_request. Like this, we already seen various things. For example, if I going for $_get, that will be easy for me. $_get of, let us take that the name of the file, what the user clicked is file. What the user clicked. Guys, once you are trying to use the $_get variable, what it is trying to do, it is trying to read the URL of the browser. It is trying to read the URL of the browser. In the URL of the browser, what will happen? The file name, question mark, variable name equal to value, ampersand, variable name equal to value, ampersand, variable name equal to value, like that it is going to get, right? In that, once if I give value, the name as file, for that file if I give the value as the user selected value, that will be read by it easily. Okay, so for that what I will do is, maybe you are getting confusing, right? Something. So let me explain that. So whenever user clicks on this download button, download link, what I need to do is, I need to redirect it to a file called download.php. Download.php. Followed by how the URL structure, whenever you are trying to work with get, question mark, followed by the name of the variable. What is the name of the variable? Let us take file, right? Next, equal to, if I am trying to write like jk.png, if I'm trying to write jk.png, now what will happen? Observe, I'm going to go for this page F5. So you are getting some error in the line number 37. I need to close these double quotations. So I think I don't need to close the double quotations. Yes. Now if I refresh it, observe. Now if I am going to click on some particular thing, it will be related to which one? Observe. So don't worry about the error. It is showing something like download.php question mark file equal to jk.png. So meaning that this data is available to which location? This particular location. This particular location. In this particular location, what I will do? I will read the URL. That URL having a name called file. So $_get, it is going to return the value of the variable file. So now $name contains what? You can write something like echo $name. So don't worry about this syntax. If I refresh it, you will get jk.png or not. So whatever the data that you are passing through URL, that will be available here. That will be available here. Now what I will do, instead of printing the name, I will simply make use of this. Make use of. So now you will get an error because there is no such file or directory, because jk.png is not available for us. So now what I can do, we can simply manage that. If file underscore exist, this is what we have seen already in the previous class. File underscore exist, in which location we need to check? Images slash $name. If it exists, then I need to go for the process of reading the file. If it is not exist, and display as file not found to download. File not found to download. Okay, I'll come back. I'll refresh it. If I click on download, it is showing that file not found to download. So now, in this particular location, you need to manage everything. So I hope you understood. But the thing is here, do you need to pass this jk.png statically or dynamically? Dynamically. You need to pass it dynamically, right? How we are going to pass it? Tell me. By simply closing the string dot operator. So you have to write something like $. Where is the variable? Image. $image. But the thing is here. So okay. And then I am going to start my string. Is it okay, ma? I am going to close this href and I am going to get the value, and then I am going to open the string once again. What is the necessary to open the string? Let us check. It will provide error na? If there is any mistake. If I click on download, it is, see, observe in the URL, it is not appending anything. It is not appending anything because we made certain mistake here. So meaning that, so what we can do, we need to rectify this mistake. I think it will okay now. Href equal to download.php, it will be closed up to here, and this single quotations will be closed here. Yes. Refresh it. Click on download.php. Yes. Observe guys, file equal to b.jpg. Whatever the file user is clicking, that will be fine. For example, if the user is clicking d.jpg, the file name is d.jpg. You are getting. So I already said this read file method is meant for what? Reading the data into the browser, not for meant for the purpose of downloading. So instead, you can forcefully download the image into the system by using a kind of method called header method. Header method will have a set of properties here. Those properties are content disposition property. Disposition property equal to, that should be attachment, and the file name what you are trying to download should be the user submitted file name. If you want to write your own name, you can able to write. Like for example, I would like to go for writing the file name as file name equal to, I would like to write the file name as dollar name. File name as dollar name dot something closing like this. I'm going to close the header file. I'm going to close the header name. Okay. Instead of this, what we can do is, observe guys, it is downloading or not? D.jpg. I refresh this one. I click on download. It will be opened or not? C.jpg. It is downloaded automatically. Open. So this is the way you can able to forcefully download. So d.jpg, it is again downloading. But guys, if you didn't written anything here as file name as dollar name, it will take some name as default one. It will take some name as default one. So that is the reason I mentioned specifically it as file name property. So what are the file that you are trying to download? For that you are trying to give the name of the actual name. If you want to make it clear, once again you can go for base name also. That will give the base name, actual name. So when is actually you are trying to work with the base name method is whenever you are trying to use some kind of third party website images. So whenever trying to work with third party images, what will happen? For example, let me try to open new incognito google.com rgkt images. rgkt images. If I click on particular image, something like this. If I go for copy the image address, open link in new tab. Okay, it will open. Copy the image address. If I paste here, what will happen? This is the URL, right? This is the URL. In this URL, what is the base address? What is the base image name? The base image name is here slide5.jpg. So whenever you are trying to work with some third party websites and in order to get the base name of the image instead of the entire URL, then you can go for this particular position. So as we are trying to work with the same local website, so I don't want to specifically mention for uh, the base name, but it is, if you want, you can able to use this one. Okay, not only this one, for example, instead of this d.jpg, I can go for writing something like wt.pdf. If I refresh it, so as it is not an image, it will something showing an alternative thing, and if I click download, that will be downloaded. So this is the way you can able to forcefully download the files into your system. Okay, fine. So next concept is JSON parsing. Guys, this concept you have already covered the basic concept while working with JavaScript. Have you remembered the concept of array of objects? Array of objects, right? Array of objects means there is an array. It contains a collection of objects. That is what we call it, array of objects. The same structure it will follow here also. So JSON means first. What is the meaning? JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation. So this is an important one. So basically before JSON, you will have one more kind of concept called XML. Extensible markup language. Extensible markup language. So both XML and JSON, JSON, both are meant for to transfer the data. to transfer the data from one website to another, from one website to another website, and these two are a kind of text formats. These two are a kind of text formats. Yes, guys, for example, let me take, there is a kind of website called SBI. There is a kind of website called SBI, and there is a kind of website called, sorry, there is a kind of some third party company called PhonePe. Now, in order to perform some kind of transactions between SBI and PhonePe, they need to exchange certain data. They need to exchange certain data. That exchanging of data will be done basically in the form of either XML or in the form of JSON. Because, so for example, when you form certain basic rules, if those rules are followed by everyone, that will be easy for us or not. So similarly, what the developers will do is, what all the website developers will do is, they made some kind of common language, that is a kind of text-based language. That text-based language is can be understood by humans as well as it can be understood by machines also. So that is the reason they implemented two kind of language, that is XML or JSON, which can be understood by either a human or a kind of machine. So what they will do is, whenever SBI people wants to communicate some data to the PhonePe, SBI people what they will do, they will convert into a kind of common format language, that is either XML or PhonePe, XML or something like JSON. Similarly, whenever PhonePe people wants to read certain data, what they will read, they can read in the form of JSON or in the form of XML. Similarly, if they want to produce, they can produce in the form of either XML or JSON. So whenever two particular employees or two particular websites wants to communicate, they will communicate via either a JSON or an XML. But nowadays, JSON is very famous. JSON is very famous because it is lightweight. It is lightweight. It will its performance is more. Its performance is more, because reason everybody is using JSON format. So in XML, how the data will look like? Have you gone through anyone videos? No. So in XML, how the videos will, how that how the data will look like? The data will be available in the form of tags. Those tags we can call it as user defined tags. User defined tags. For example, let me take, there is a tag called Jaya, or let me write with a clear example here. Let me take, there is a kind of a department. There is a kind of a department. This is a department. In the department, there will be a kind of a student with the name as something like CR, student, and the student having student ID. Student ID is N180535, closing of student ID, and the student can be having some class, that is student class, as a CSC2. I am going to go for student class. See, this is the way your XML data will be available for you. And I am going to save this file with an extension called some name with an extension student.xml. Student.xml. See, what will happen whenever some persons wants to share some data to some third party website, they will try to convert their data into kind of XML format. That XML format is of like this. And you know already in JavaScript how we are going to read the data if it is a kind of a format of some structured format. In JavaScript we have seen DOM concept, right? In DOM we can able to get every element in the form of a parent-child relationship like that. So the same way they can able to read it, and they can able to get the value, and they can able to process whatever they want. For example, SBI people want to communicate with PhonePe. SBI, so before going to proceed further, like for the purpose of some payment operation, what the PhonePe people require? They required whether the corresponding phone number, corresponding value having certain balance or not. For example, if I want to send some money to your CR, some 5,000 rupees, before performing this operation, what the phone people want to do, they have to get certain details from the SBI, that whether so and so person having the amount of minimum balance as 5,000 or not, they need to get. That data they will get in the form of some XML format. Once they get the data, they will analyze it. Okay, fine, this is the amount which is available in the database is more than the asked amount, then they can proceed further. If it is less than, they will say that you don't have enough balance. This is the way they can able to communicate. So in the olden times they are using something like XML format. Nowadays they are trying to work with JSON, because of it is lightweight, it give more performance and it is occupying less space also. More performance and less space occupied. Okay, fine. So how the JSON will look like? JSON will look like in the form of a collection of objects only. A collection of objects. So I think I have already given for you how the object will look like. Object will be available in the form of key value pairs. Key value pairs. Those key value pairs are available in between a pair of flower parentheses. Flower parentheses, where a key is available in the form of a string. Key is available in the form of string and separated with colon, followed by value as something like j. And each and every key value is separated with comma operator, something like age as 25. So this is what we call it as an object. We call it as an object. Okay, guys. Now let me explain the thing. Control yes. JSON parsing dot PHP. I'm going to open the PHP code and I'm going to save it. Okay, guys. So basically, what do you mean by nesting of arrays? Sorry, uh, nesting of objects. Nesting of objects. Or so nesting of object means writing one object inside another object. What do you mean by nesting of arrays? Sorry, writing one array inside another array. Similarly, what do you mean by array of objects? It is a kind of a collection of objects. That's it. A collection of objects. Okay. So how we are going to write that? So basically, you are going to create an array with the help of this like this, and it's a kind of a collection of objects. A collection of objects. Right. $a equal. So this example will clearly represent for you as array of objects. Array of objects. But coming to JSON format, the JSON format is the same as array of object, but with an extra thing as instead of square parentheses, it will represent in the form of a pair of flower parentheses. Okay. Basically, I will try to create one object. So for example, let me try to create the object name as name as Jaya. So should be separated with comma operator. Age as 25 and class as CSC2 and in this let me take subject as WT and then in this class how many students are there, that I am trying to define. Students as in the form of an array, so that students will be the names as A, B, C. So there are 3 students are there, let us assume. And then I would like to define the properties of each student. Properties of student. Those properties again will be available in the form of what? Objects. So like let me take color, or I can go with the village. Village equal to Nojweed. And then percentage equal to 100%. Guys, now this I can call it as a kind of what? An object. Where property hyphen student is a kind of an object which is available in where? In another object. This is what we call it as nesting of an object. So meaning that an object will be represented in the form of pair of flower parentheses, and it contains key value pairs where each key represented in the form of a string. Value can be a normal string a number, or it can be an array, or it can be one more kind of an object. One more kind of an object. Okay. So this is the example for the object. The object. Okay. So now what I would like to do is, so for example, I have certain data. I have certain data. That data is available in the form of an array. Let us assume that an array. So that array is also in the form of an associative array. Is also in the form of associative array. For example, the same thing, associative array contains the name. What is the name? Jaya. And what is the age? 25. Class as CSC2. So I don't want to go for the remaining things. So this is the data I am having in my system, in my server. Now I need to send this data to some other third party website. Then what I need to do? I need to make compulsory convert this data into kind of third party understandable format. What is third party understandable format? That can be either XML or it can be any kind of JSON format. So here I am concentrating on only JSON. So that's why I am trying to work with, trying to convert this data into kind of JSON format. So what I will do is, I will try to make it in the variable called $j. 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 Now I am trying to convert it into a kind of JSON format by using a method called JSON encode method. There is a method called JSON encode method, which will automatically convert your data into a kind of JSON format. JSON format. We don't need to do anything. So I will simply display this data by using echo JSON underscore encode. Okay. Now let us check that JSON parsing dot page. Guys, you can observe you have given the data in the form of a basic array, basic associative array, but here the data we got in the form of a JSON format. Now what the third party will do? They will use this URL and they will try to decode it, and they can able to understand the various kind of properties what we send. Okay, fine. So not only this one, for example, if my data is available in the form of a normal array, a equal to array of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, 3 comma 4. If I try to write echo JSON underscore encode of $a, guys, you can observe the output here. You can observe the output here. What happened here? You got the data what you have given actually. So because it is a normal array, so but for associated arrays JSON encode will directly work, but for normal arrays it won't work. But if you want to convert it into a kind of JSON format, you can go for here using extra uh, property, that is JSON underscore force underscore object. I am trying to forcefully convert it into kind of an object. Observe, it is automatically adding the keys 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So how many values are there? For those values it is going to convert into a kind of JSON format by simply using JSON underscore force underscore object property. So this is the way you can able to convert the given data into a kind of JSON format. Now our task is, I am having a JSON data. I need to convert into a kind of our own format. Our own format. Then what we can do? So let me try to first get the JSON data. So I'm trying to copy it. Now I am going to get the JSON data. So what is the JSON data? It will be like this. So I'm going to make in the form of a string. the variable name is $s equal to. Now my S contains what? A kind of JSON formatted data. Now I need to decode it. So for decoding, what I can do? JSON underscore decode of $s. $s. If I write like echo, you will get an error, amma, because it can't able to understand it directly. So that is why you are going to get the object can't display directly object. So you are going to get an error. So in order to make it clear understanding, I can go for a method called var underscore dump method. So which is meant for, which can be understood by the object directly, which can be understood by the var underscore dump will understood the object directly, and it will clearly define what kind of data it is there available. So the string is there, integer is there, like that it is going to define. Observe, actually JSON object we got that they convert into a kind of normal understandable format. What is that? Name, it contains a string of length 4. What is that string? Jaya. It contains a value that is 25, which is of type integer. So like this we can able to get. Now what we can do, once we got this data, we can able to process in our end. We can able to process it in our end, and based upon that we can able to do anything. Okay. So this is the concept of JSON parsing. So what you need to do means, so you need to convert the actual data into a kind of JSON format with the help of JSON encode method. And if there is any JSON data, we need to decode it with the help of JSON decode method. So if you want to check its the values, then I can go for var underscore dem. Okay. Okay, ma. So this is for today's class. In the next class, we'll see the concept of sessions.